Next, we're going for components of motherboard. Previous video, I told what is the definition of a motherboard, types of motherboard, and next and general structure of motherboard also we have discussed. Next, we're going for the components of a motherboard. There is a 7 components of a motherboard. First one is processor. Next one is BIOS, means basic input output system, and CMOS, complementary metal oxide semiconductor, and slots and disk controller and input output port and interfaces and buses. We can see these seven components one by one. What do you mean about processor? Means the processor for a CPU is the main components on the motherboard, and it's called the brain of the computer. Means the processor, it is a CPU main components. It will be inside in a CPU of a motherboard. In the CPU, what it will be, ALU, one control unit and register. Arithmetical logic operation, it's used for logical operation. Control unit, it's a responsibility for organizing the processing the data instruction. To transfer the data instruction one unit to another unit, we using control unit. What is the register? Register is a type of computer memory to build a direct into processor. Means to build a memory directly to the processor, we using register. Okay, that used to store and manipulate data during the execution of an instruction. Means in case in program execution, to storing it, it will happen in register only, and the register may hold instruction, a storage address, a kind of data, such a bit of sequence or individual characters. And the measuring of in processor, it will correctly be in megahertz when clock speed in megahertz and gigahertz. The CPU performs measured by the instruction executed per second, million instruction per second, and billion instruction per second. Next, microprocessor. It's one of the electronical components. It is single integrated circuit and IC chip. It's one of the electronical components, and it will be in the inside of motherboard. It will be a tin chip contain an entire computation engine, Intel AMD Celeron. AMD means advanced micro device. Next, basic input output systems. It will be like a small chip. It will be inside in a motherboard, and it's hold a set of instruction to load the hardware, and it will check the settings like a keyboard, monitors, or disk drives. When it's going to run means when we on the computer switched on, that time the basic input output system is going to run, and we can post power and self test. We check if the hardware device are present functioning properly. It will check the function the hardware devices is working properly or not. It will check power and self test, and it will BIOS include the bootstrap and loading to load the OS into memory. It will load. Next, we are going for CMOS, complementary metal oxide semiconductors. It is a type of memory chip, store date and time, and system set up in a parameters. These parameters are loaded every time the computer is started. Means the time and the times and date it's running. In case we shut down, we have shut down, but it's CMOS. It's running. Because of that only, time and date it will be in proper way. BIOS and CMOS is kept powered by a small lithium ion battery located in motherboard. Next, we're going for slots. Slot is the opening space of a computer where we can insert in a printed circuit board. Means we can insert printed circuit board in the slot, and it's a very expansion slots. There are several types of slot First one is industrial standard architecture. The ISS slot it's used for connect modem and input devices to connect the input devices. It's used ISCA industrial standard architecture, and PCI peripheral components interconnected. PCI slot used to connect graphic accelerated code, sound code, internal modem, SCSI, small computer system interface, means to graphics code like the tunnel we need to insert, we need to interconnect, means the time where the slot will be PCI, and they are much faster than ISA means PSA is a faster compared to ISA. Next, we're going for AGP, accelerated graphic board. AGP slot is advanced board design for video code 3D acceleration. It's used for 3D acceleration using AGP graphic board. And next, RAM slot. RAM slot is used to install the memory to store the programs and data correctly being used by RAM. Also installing memory in the storage. It is also one of the slot used by CPU in the CPU. RAM is measured in units called bytes. It is going to measure by bytes. There are two types of RAM slot. One is SIMM and another one is DIMM. Means SIMM means single inline memory model. Only single inline it will be. DIMM means dual inline memory model, means it will be two. And next, processor slot is used to insert a processor chip, which is largest chip on the motherboard. Processor slot is used for in case we need to insert largest chip, means we can insert in processor slot. And next we are going for disk controller. Disk control means device that connect the disk drive to the computer bus, enabling the drive to exchange data with other device. Means this controller is used for exchanging data with other devices. Using in their hard disk controller. Hard disk controller means hard disk controller is the interface that enables the computer to read and write the information of an hard disk. Means in this we can read and write to also. Read means it's going to transforming magnetic field to electrical current. Write means it's a vice versa of an read, transforming electrical current into magnetic field. This connector is used to insert integrated digital electronic IDE cable, and IDE cable connect device such as hard drives, CD drives and DVD drives. Next, floppy disk. A floppy disk controller interface that direct control for the readings from writing computer floppy disk drive. Means here also it's also two possible reading from writing computer of an floppy disk drive. FDC usually perform data transmission direct memory access mode. It's also data transmission in a direct memory access mode. Next, input output port and interface. It is the floppy disk controller image. Input output port of an interface means porting. Means what are the port it will be. The port is a socket on the computer used to connect external device the computer. For external devices, what are the port? There is the port is coming in from motherboard only. All the port is connected with the motherboard. It is used to connect external device like a printer, keyboard or scanners. The different types of input outputs ports or serial port and parallel port, and USB port and VGA port. Next, serial port. Serial port is also known as a communication port. RS-232C port used for, means we can call the as a communication port, and it's used for connecting communication device like a mouse and modem. We using serial port. They are used for connecting communication device like a mouse and modem. That only repeated. This port transfer data serially, and it will be 1 bit at a time. It's very important, this concept. They're going to in year only they will pick for MCQ questions. Serial port is how many bit of times, like that. Serial port is a 1 bit of a times, 1 bit at a times. One main advantage of a data is the main advantage of a serial port is data is a send and receive over only two lines. It's sending and receiving only in a two lines in serial port. In the parallel port, it's used to connect external input and output devices like a printer and scanners. And it will be used for external input and output device like a printer and scanners. See, in serial port, it will be like a modem and mouse only input. In parallel port, there is a two possible input and output, also known as a printed port. And they carry 8 bit 1 byte at times. It will carry 8 bit. Parallel port carry 8 bit and serial port carry 1 bit. Next, we're going for USB. USB means universal series bus. USB is a plug and play interface between computer and add-on device such as audio player and mobile scanners. USB is a new device added our computer without adding adapter. Yes, of course, for any other than we need to connect means we need adapter, but USB no need adapter cord or even turning computer off. USB support data speed but of what 12 megabits per second, and USB supporting up to 127 devices, supporting for 127 devices. And PS2 personal system port was developed by IBM interface keyboards and pointing device like a mouse, trackpads and touchpads. It is developed by IBM interface keyboards. PS2 personal system port. Next, IDE integrated digital electronic port. It's connect for IDE devices like a CD-ROMs drives or hard disk drives to the motherboard. Next, we're going for AGP, accelerated graphic port. It's used to connect graphic cards that provide high-speed video performance, typically in games and other multimedia applications. It will be connect for graphic card that provide high-speed video performance. For that, we will connect the accelerated graphic port. Next, we use VGA, visual graphic adapter port. It's connect monitor to computer video cards. Next, the monitor a computer often video card. Modem is modulator demodulator. It's connect PC to the telephone network. Internet port connect to a network and high speed internet. It connect high speed internet. It will connect for high speed internet, high speed network cable. Next is MIDI. It's a musical instrument digital interface. It's port system design transmitted information between electronic musical instrument. Next, we're going for bus. Bus is a collection of parallel wires. It will be in a parallel wire that form. It will be carry address. It will carry the pathway of carry address and data and control signals. The functional features of a bus are the bus it will be set of wires. Each wire can carry 1 bit of data. It will be a set of wires and each wire can carry 1 bit of data. Means it will be a set of wires, but each wire will carry 1 bit of data. A bus width is defined by number of wires in the bus. Computer bus can be divided into two types. One is internal bus, another one is external bus. What is the internal bus means? It connects major computer components like a processor, memory, input, output. It's also called as a system bus. External bus means it connects the different external device, peripheral expansion slot, input, output port to the rest of computer. It's also called as expansion bus. It's lower than the system. Internal bus is bus. A system bus is expansion bus, comprise of three kinds of bus. System bus expansion bus comprise three kinds of bus. One is data bus, address bus, and control bus. In the database, it provides both transferring data between CPU and memory. Means it provides the path transferring the data between CPU and memory. Okay, and data bus may consist of 32 and 64 128 lines FN bytes. In the address bus, it connects CPU and RAM with a set of lines similar. It will be similar to a data bus. The address bus width determines the maximum number of memory locations in computer can address. It will be a maximum number of memory allocation of the computer address. And control bus, it's used for accessing to and use data of an address line. It's used to control the access the data of an address lines. Next, we're going for memory. The computer memory refers to electronic storage space of an instrument. Memory for storage for storage only. On the memory, there is a two types. One is primary, another one is main memory. Primary and secondary memory. And we can see primary memory. Primary memory is the main memory of a computer. It stores the programs and data which currently needed by the CPU. And functions of a primary memory. It contains copy of a main software program of operating system. The program is loaded into primary memory when the computer is turned on. First, it will load for primary memory only, and it temporarily store of a copy of an application programs. It will store temporarily, and temporarily store the data input from the keyboard, and temporarily store the result which is generated by closing until it's transferring in the output devices. And primary memory is of two types. One is RAM and ROM. One is random access memory, another one is read-only memory. The random access memory also called as a main memory of a computer. RAM is a temporarily stores in computer operating system application program that currently data so that processor can reach them quickly. But if we can reach quickly, but it's stored temporarily. RAM is a faster memory. RAM is a volatile in nature. When the power is switched off, the data in this memory is lost. Means volatile means for RAM we need it must be a electric current. In case power is gone means it will erase. It will be volatile. For so they will call volatile. In the RAM there is a two types. One is static RAM and dynamic RAM. Static RAM chip is usually used for cache memory due to its high speed. It's used in the cache memory because of they needed high speed for sure. It stores the information as long as the power supply is on. And SRAM is more expensive than DRAM. It takes up more spaces. It will take more space. Dynamical RAM, it's most commonly type. It will be the same like a memory chip. It's cheaper. It will be cheaper, and they consume less power. Dynamical RAM it consumes less power. It uses transistor and capacitor. And in dynamical RAM, DRAM is said two types. They are further classified two types. SDRAM stands for synchronized dynamic RAM. It is a synchronization system lock. When synchronized means it's a locking. Since synchronized to the CPU, it's known as when next cycle is coming, and as data is ready when the CPU is requested. This must be ready, but it will after completing only it's coming next. It will be a lock. After that only next coming after the next cycle is coming as data is ready. After completion only next it will come. Next is a double data rate RAM. It works same as a SD-RAM, but data transferring rate double when compared to SD-RAM. It will be double, same like SD-RAM only. It will be transferred with the double. And there's a different types, double D RAM and DDR1 and DDR2 and DDR3. Read only memory. ROM is a non-volatile memory, means it's a non-volatile and their information stored in it not lost even when the power supply goes off. It used to permanent storage in informations. And difference between RAM and ROM. This RAM stands for random access memory. ROM stands for read-only memory. It's a volatile and non-volatile. RAM requires flow of electrical to return data. Means RAM needed electrical, but ROM will return data without flow of electricity. In case without electricity also it will flow. In RAM there is two types: dynamical random access memory and static random access memory. In the ROM also there is two types: program read-only memory and erasable programming read-only memory. Next, secondary memory. Secondary memory used for auxiliary memory, and the secondary memory is used to bulk storage of a mass storage program data. The other information means we can store the bulk storage in the secondary memory. It has a much larger capacity than main memory. Compared to main memory, it will be a larger capacity. The secondary memory retains the information once stored on it. Retain the information, it will give retain information it will give for users. It's stored like that in the secondary memory. The magnetic memory such as hard disk and compact disk and pen drive memory. Ports are mostly commonly used in secondary memory computer, means memory card reader and USB flash and external optical driver and media devices. They are all secondary devices memory. And secondary memory we can call it as auxiliary memory also. So auxiliary memory hold the programs in data for a for future use. Difference between primary and secondary memory. In the primary memory, it will be a semiconductor memory. Secondary memory, magnetic or optical memory. It is primary memory, volatile and non-volatile. Primary expensive. It will be high cost. Secondary memory, it will be less cost. And primary memory is a faster in a program execution, and secondary memory it will be slower in program execution compared to. And primary memory is a we can call it as a main memory, and secondary memory we can call it as a auxiliary memory. Primary memory two types, one is a RAM and ROM, and secondary memory can give example HDD, pen drive, and etc. It's a not types. It's an example of a primary memory. Next, we coming for cache memory. A cache memory is a very high speed memory. It will be placed between the RAM and CPU. And cache memory store the data used for often temporarily and makes available CPU fast rate hence it's used for increasing speed processing. Means is used for often temporarily, makes like a temporarily, but it's for what purpose we use cache memory means to increasing the speed of an processor, to increasing the speed of the processors. See, very high speed memory placed to increasing the speed of an processor. Cache memory is a very expensive, so it is a smaller in size, but it will be in smaller in size. Cache memory of in size is 256 KB to 2 MB. It is categorized as a levels, 3 levels. Level 1 is it's extremely fast but relatively small and usually present inside the CPU, and it will be inside in a CPU. The size of alone cache varies from 32 KB to 512 KB. In the level 2, it will be located outside the CPU on a separate chip in a high-speed system. It's bus interconnected to the cache to the CPU. The size of L2 cache varies from 1 MB to 2 MB. See, level 1 it will be only 32 KB to 512 KB. In level 2 it's increases 1 MB to 2 MB. See, level 1 it will be extremely small, but usually present inside the CPU. But level 2 it will be outside the CPU. In level 3 is typically specialization memory that work to improve the performance of L1 and L2. Means in level 3 it's going to improve the performance of an L1 and L2. It's slower than L1 or L2, but usually double speed of an RAM. It will be like this. The CPU in the in first level it will be in here, and the second level it will be outside the CPU, and level 3 it's coming primary memory and secondary memory. It's double. So like that it will be. Next we coming for switch mode power supply. For what? Switch mode power supply means to convert AC power to DC power. Power needed by the system components. For system they needed DC, no direct current. For so to converting the AC power from electrical outlet to DC power, we using SMPS. SMPS stands for switch mode power supply, and the SMPS contain the power cord, plug or fan for cooling because it generates a lot of heat. And next we going for UPS. UPS stands for unit interruptible power supply. UPS is for UPS is a power supply that includes battery maintaining power in the event of power failure. Means in case power is failure, that time we accessing the power using UPS. The UPS will be stored powers, consume the current, electrical current. When we lost the power, that time it's giving for the users for for desktops or for systems, it's giving the power. Several hours, the UPS keep computer running for several minutes to a few hours after power failure. In case power gone also, with the help of UPS we can use with the help of UPS. There are the two types of UPS. One is offline UPS, another one is online UPS. What is offline UPS means? It's also known as a standby UPS. Offline UPS monitor the power line switch to battery power soon as detect the power. Means in case the power is gone, and the fraction of second it will off and it will come. It's called as a offline UPS. In online UPS, in case it's a power is functioning properly, but it's working by UPS only. In online UPS continuously provide the power from its own inverter even when the power line is functioning properly. Online UPS is a more costly than offline UPS. Almost companies, software developer companies are using online UPS only. In home we using offline UPS. Thank you so much. This is all about first chapter.